Today I'm going to be showing you how we can use a simple sandwich to learn more about music. As you can see, we've got a whole sandwich here that's been cut up, but it's one whole sandwich. Now, if I make a cut along this line, which I have already done, and separate these two, we get two halves. Two halves. Of course, when we put those two halves back together, we still get a whole sandwich, but it is separated in half. Two of these halves equal one whole sandwich. Now, if I cut along this line and along this line, we get four separate quarters. Now, these four separate quarters, when we put them all back together, will still make a whole sandwich. Four of these quarters, so let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, will still equal a whole sandwich. Now, next we're going to show you how this can relate to music. Alright, so now that we have talked about our sandwiches, I want to show you today how that can relate to music. So, I'm going to start out by showing you a whole note. Now, this whole note equals 4 beats, just like our sandwich was a whole sandwich. This is a whole note. Now, when we cut the sandwich in half, we got two halves of the sandwich. When we cut this whole note in half, we can do the same thing. So a half note looks like this. It's an open circle with a little stem attached to it. Now, each of these, this half note over here, equals 2 beats. So, if this equals 2 beats and this equals 2 beats, how many beats do we get if we put them together? 4 beats. Just like with the sandwich. When we cut the sandwich in half, we had 2 halves, but when we put them back together, it was still a whole sandwich. It's the same thing with this. One of these is half of a whole note. One of these is half of a whole note. Put them together, you get 2 halves, which is a whole note, which is again 4 beats. Now, just like with our sandwich, we're going to slice this note in half one more time. So, one of these half notes equals what we like to call a quarter note. A quarter note looks just like the half note, except the bottom circle part is filled in. Now, one of these quarter notes equals 1 beat. Just one. So, let's think about this. Just like when we cut our sandwich into 4 pieces, when we put all those pieces back together, it still made one whole sandwich. It's the same thing with music. So these quarter notes, if you put them all together, still make 4 beats. So, these are all 1 beat. So 1 beat plus 2 beat, 3 beat, 4 beat gets you 4 beats. Just like the 4 pieces of the sandwich, when we put them all back together, looks like a whole sandwich. It's the same thing with music. So, if we have a piece of music, a whole note, which is 4 beats, is equal to 2 half notes. A whole note is also equal to 4 quarter notes. Just like the 4 pieces of our sandwich were equal to 1 whole sandwich. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time.